welcome to another Licks live stream. It's Friday, so here we go. We're gonna dive into some E blues licks, and I'll start by playing them for you guys. Let me know where in the world you are. It's always good to see where everybody's at. And yeah, welcome. I can see Becker is here. All right, let's dive in. I'll play the licks for you first with the backing track. All right, so basically it's two quick little licks. One is which is kind of a classic blues lick. What comes after it is a quick run on the blues scale, which then goes into the major third, lands on the major third. So we could talk more about why that sounds the way that it does. The classic kind of mixing of minor blues and major blues, minor pentatonic and major pentatonic. And if you're wondering why I'm waving, it's because I've just realized I have a little friendly fly here. Much like at the presidential debate the other day, except this one's much smaller. All right, so I'm gonna play it for you one more time, and obviously the backing track that I'm playing on is linked below. So if you want to take the licks and practice on that, you can do that by clicking on the link below. You can also watch the full intro solo there. This is basically just a little snippet. These licks are a little snippet of the intro solo, and there's also a tab for this and for the whole solo that's linked below as well. If you check out my the direct link for that, you can get to that, or you can click the link to my Patreon. That's where absolutely all of my tabs are. My full library of tabs is on there, so if you want to join me there, I appreciate support very much. And also, you get access to more than 180 tabs by now. There's up there. So we've got loads of solos, blues, jazz, rock, Dorian, kind of, modal things, loads of stuff. And then there's obviously the Wednesday warm-ups, the weekly warm-ups. So those are, added all the time on Patreon, as well as like in-depth lessons that I've started doing on there as well, and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, there we go, guys. I'll play it for you one more time. Here we go. All right, so as you may be able to hear, this is happening on the 5 chord and the 4 chord, and then it lands on the 1 chord. So it's a B7 to an A7 to an E7 chord, right? Those are the chords. So basically, you can see them as triads or 4 note chords. Doesn't really matter. A B and an A and an E, or you can see it as B7, A7, or E7. But it is basically, these licks are happening on the 5 chord, 4 chord, and then the 1 chord. And I'm saying that because that is kind of a classic lick to play on a 5 chord. So, and also what happens next. That is, that kind of run on the minor pentatonic, or in other words, the minor blues scale. That's also a very classic thing to do on the 4 chord, to mix in that kind of minor sound. So yeah, they fit really well on the 5 and the 4 chords. So, something that you can try and do is to add them in different contexts to that very part of the blues progression. All right, so let's dive into how to actually play this. That one's super simple. So just before the 5 chord lands, we're gonna pull off 14 to 13 on the G string, like that. 3rd finger to the 2nd finger, like that. And and then straight on the one of the 5 chord right there, the B, we're gonna go. So that is 3rd finger again on 14 on the G string. Okay, so 14, 13, 14, 13, 14, and then 16 with your 3rd finger. Okay? So we're pulling off, and then we're going, just picking all these notes. Like that, and then you can add some vibrato if you like that. So, okay, so that is a pretty classic blues thing to do on the 5 chord of any, you know, blues progression. So, like I always say, you know, try these out in different keys. Say that you're in a key of A. Well, your 5 chord is E now, and that lick would be, you know, it's really worth it to try and transpose these licks to other keys. They'll take on whole new meanings and open up new doors that way. But back to the key of E. So that's what we're doing on the 5 chord. So basically mixing in some major 3rd right there. That's your major 3rd of E, that G sharp there on the 13th fret of the G string. Okay, now we're gonna do something that I love to do, which is just like that kind of little 2-note, like a little whip on 1 note, and you can do it on any note, you know. But I like to do it on the root, like that, okay? And so it's basically just at the end of that bar over the 5 chord before we go into the next bar, which is over the 4 chord, the A, and go. Okay, so. Okay, like that. And I'm killing those notes just after I've played them. So one way that you can do that is add some palm after you've played it. Just give it that kind of snap. So it just goes ba-ba, like I said, like a whip, like that. So it's a little bit of a trick that I take a little moment to learn. Like I said, you can do it anywhere. Any you know, any note can get that kind of whip, a 2-note whip, let's call it. So there we go. Now we're gonna go on to the next part. Let me just play the lick again to remind you guys. And here we go. 3, 4. Okay, so next up, we've got just a quick little run on the in the basic box position, right? Of E minor pentatonic. We're adding some blues, we're adding a little bit of bending and a pull off, you know, a few little bits, but it's basically a run down the E minor blues scale. But here we go. The first note is this. So that's just taking, you know, the D, bending it up to the E. So bending from 15 to 17 on the B string with your little finger. You can do it with your 3rd finger if you like, but I like to use my little finger in this case. And I'm adding some vibrato as well to that bend. So obviously, as always, you know, I'm getting behind the bend with my other fingers. So especially the 3rd finger gets to take part in that bend, so that I have more control of the bend, right? And that makes it easier for me to give it some nice vibrato as well. And you know, you can check whether you're hitting the right note, you know, by sort of cross-checking like that, right? And then once you find it, give it that bit of nice vibrato. And also you can get into it like that with a little rake if you deaden the strings with your left hand. And with your, you know, you can help control with your palm as well back here. Give it that kind of little rake as well. That's a real fun thing to do. Like that, right? So that in itself is kind of, you know, two little subtle techniques happening right there. So maybe just practice that. Those are just E's, right? And then, but yeah, have a little bit of a technique, you know, to practice, you know, to actually execute that. So that thing there, and then give it that bit of vibrato. So now we're gonna go. So here we have, after the bend, we're gonna go. So now I'm picking 12 on the top B string, right? Sorry, the top E string. And then on the B string, I got 15 and 12. Okay? And now I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do a little bit of a bend. And you can bend up, or you can bend down, so to speak, you know. And by down, I mean this way, right? So you can bend that way. It doesn't matter which way you bend. It produces the same note, you know? Like that, but in this case, I like to bend down like this, down the way. Yeah, down towards the ground. So I'm taking the 14th fret of the G string with my third finger and bending that one like that, giving it a bit of blues. Yeah, so I'm bending it. Somewhere in the region between a half bend and a whole bend. Yeah? And then I go back to 14 and I pull off to 12 with my first finger. And then you go back to that E note there on the 14th fret of the D string. So that was. So just try that. Okay, so that was, so that's literally going down the minor blues scale, right? And now to finish it off, we're gonna go roll that third finger up to 14 on the G string again. Right, so go 14 and go 12 on the G string, then go 14 and 12 on the D string. Now you're gonna go 14, 13, 12 on the A string, and 10 on the A string as well. So that's all picked. Okay, and now you're gonna slide into that lush major third on the E chord, the one chord that it comes back to after going 5, 4, 1. Okay, so that is where it kind of resolves, but it doesn't stop there. It goes up to the E as well. So you can catch the E with your little finger on the 14th fret of the D string, right there. All right, and give that a little bit of a vibrato as well. And then I finish it with like that, just a quick little hammer on from 12 to 14. And I'm using my fingering that goes 2 to 4 on that one. So obviously it would be quite common to use 1 and 3 there, but since I landed with the little finger, I just stay in that position and then use my second finger, hammering on to the 4th finger, like that. So, that is that run. So that's a pretty quick run. So you probably want to, you know, slow it down, take your time with it, and maybe even just, you know, focus on one little part at a time. For example, like that, you know, and then add the first part. Okay? And then just practice that. And chain it all together. There we go. So, I hope that you'll have some fun with these licks. Like I said, the jam track that I was using here, and you know, the solo where these licks come from, it was obviously an improvised solo, like all my solos are. That's linked below, so you can have some fun on the jam track and try and actually develop these licks into, you know, whatever they become when you have some fun with them. And if you want to get the tab for this and the whole solo, you know, get some more fuel, that tab is linked below. They're all on my Patreon. So there we go, guys. And also, actually, I should say, I've just released an EP today. Check out my Spotify. My Spotify is linked below. I think I maybe left a link for the EP. I'm not sure, but check below on my Spotify. I just released an EP on this label called College Music. A really cool label, and it's sort of a very chill instrumental guitar vibe that I created with a tremendously successful lo-fi guitarist, lo-fi hip-hop guitarist called Mondo Loops. And we had a really great time creating it, and it's spreading like wildfire just now on Spotify and everywhere else. So I'm really excited to start this this kind of chapter. This is the first thing I've done in that style that's been on a, you know, a proper, one of the, you know, in my opinion, best labels for that type of music in the world. So so yeah, hope you want to check it out, give it a listen, you know, add it to a playlist, download it, whatever you like. And I appreciate the support very much. So there we go, guys. I hope that you have loads of fun with these licks, and I will see you real soon. Certainly see you next week for another Licks live stream, and so forth. Y'all know the deal. Got Wednesday warm-ups coming next week, and obviously, like I said, we're gonna have a new jam on Saturday, so tomorrow as well. Take care, guys. Peace out.